Hello Goodie Two Shoes, my name is Aubrie Rose, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do something fun. I was on Pinterest yesterday, I think, and I was just like looking up fall things to get into the fall feels, like books to read, movies to watch, songs to listen to. And so I decided that we are going to go over that a little bit with you today. We're just going to do the books, okay? I'm not super into movies. Even though I love Halloween and like spooky season, I've watched like 2 Halloween movies. Maybe more than that, but I've watched very, very few. I just don't live with people who like to watch horror movies. I live with one person who would watch horror movies with me, and he is currently in school, so he has a life. One of my brothers. Books. There's like these books to read in autumn, and so we're gonna make like a list, either if I've read them before and like how I think whether you should actually read them like for fall or not, or if we're gonna add them on to my list. Ooh, there's a bookish October reading bingo. We're gonna do that, but in October. It's still September. Okay, so the first one that we have is by, it's like aesthetic vintage-y. Aesthetic-y on Instagram. I don't know. Now it says Lady Cranes. I have no idea. So anyway, books to read in autumn. Number 1 is Murder on the Orient Express. So that one's actually kind of a winter story, but it's definitely still like spooky. And if you just want to read like a murder mystery, I actually wouldn't pick that one out of Agatha Christie. I would probably pick, and I love it, but yeah, so Murder on the Orient Express, actually I'm pretty sure it's a winter book, but yeah, so anyway, those are just my thoughts on that one. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I feel like I have. There was this point in time when I was just like reading a bunch of unreliable narrator books, and I think that one falls into it. I can't really speak on as much, but I would just warn you for like content wise, if you're not if you don't love all of that stuff in it, that might not be the book for you. If you want something just kind of cozy, this, I wouldn't call that cozy, but these are just books to read in autumn, not necessarily cozy. Okay, Northanger Abbey. I just have I just got very recently this huge book of Jane Austen novels, and so like all of Jane Austen's books. So we will add that one to my list. Here, let me just pull that one on to read in autumn in like the next couple months. So that'll be fun. Is this the right thing? Okay, so number 1, we're gonna add Northanger Abbey to the list. I think my mom read this one, and I don't know if she loved it, but I can't spell. Okay, so then number 4 is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So I can kind of get this. I mean, if you read it during fall, actually I think it does happen kind of during fall, like the very first few scenes. It doesn't give me fall feels as much as some other books would, but I can kind of understand. I think it does kind of take place in fall, so maybe. But I don't know, I guess dystopian wouldn't be my favorite during fall. That would probably be a summer thing for me, but yeah. Hunger Games, definitely very YA. I think most people have read it. If you haven't read it, I'm not going to be like the one to tell you you have to read it or talk that much about it in this video right now. But yeah, I don't know if I would reread Hunger Games. But anyway, Dead Poets Society by N.H. Kleinbaum. I watched the movie, and it is definitely during fall. I think it's also during the winter a little bit too, but it's like during the school year. So definitely going back to school, fall. It is sad, at least the movie is. So I would be careful with that one. It was a good movie, so maybe add that one on to my list of movies to watch this year. I don't know if I want to read it or just like add it onto my list right now. I'm not gonna go out and buy the book just so I can read it for this video. And then number 6 is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. So yes, I would say this is kind of fall feels, but it's also like, yeah, I mean kind of. It's not really fall feels though, but I do get it. Yeah, you know what? I'm changing my mind on this. Yes, but it wouldn't be like the first book to read on my list. The Vine Witch by Luann G. Smith. I've never heard of this. I have no idea what this is. I feel like I should write it down. We'll see like if it's on Libby or something. And I will look for that one. And then the second one is, the 8th one. The second one that I've never heard of before is In the Nightwood by Dale Bailey. I know nothing of this one. 9 is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. You can't just get Truly Devious, you have to get the whole trilogy. And there are... I've read this twice. I read it the first time, I think just reading it on ebooks, maybe on audiobook. I think I did listen to the audiobook, and I loved it. I loved the mystery, and then I read it again. I bought it because I was like, I'm gonna read this again, and I did read it again, but there's just, if you're not into all the woke stuff, there's so much of it in here. The mystery is flawless and amazing, but there's so much other stuff in here, and the relationship is toxic. There's just like so annoying. I just want the mystery, but there's all this other stuff in here that I don't want. So, yes. And then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which I have and have not read. I've got one of the permanent stickers on here. That's lovely. But yeah, so we'll add this one onto my list as well of books to read. I'll just set it out here. I meant to, okay, so this book starts with like a little, what's it called? A little senior project proposal, and the date is listed as July 18th. And so I was going to start reading. I was going to read that on July 18th. It is now September, and I've not started this book. So I'm not going to wait till next year. I'm going to read it now. So we'll add that one as well onto the list. So for the other ones, I don't know. If you guys have heard of these books and you have read them, let me know. Let me know what your opinions are about those books. And let's take a look at another one. This Cozy Fall Novel Reading List. I'm excited for this one. Okay, so Anne of Green Gables. I feel like Anne of Green Gables starts in like the summertime, but I haven't actually finished it, so I don't know. I tried to read it a couple of times, and I just couldn't get into it. We have another Jane Austen. We have Persuasion. I love Persuasion, so we'll add it also onto this list. Technically it's 3, but I didn't write down the other one. Persuasion. Did I spell it right? Close enough. Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Sorry. I have heard of this, but I have not read it. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which, for those of you who don't know, which are probably 0, that's the first one, which I read like 3 times, because I never finished the series, but whenever I would try, I would start over instead of just like whichever book I left off on. So I read the first book like 3 times. I read the second book a couple of times. I think I read the third. I don't think I got past the 4th. Yeah. Then we have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which is on my list. I just need to read them. And yeah, they're right over there. I need to read them. We have The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. I feel like I've heard of this, but I don't know what this is. So I don't know. Oh, I forgot to give my opinions. Yes, and kind of. Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Yes. I used to love those books. That would be so much fun to read again. I don't know if I will. I probably won't read those again until like I have kids, because I very much plan on reading out loud to my children. But that does sound like very cute. Okay, Murder on the Orient Express. What is with this one again? This one again. Out of all the Agatha Christie books, she has so many, and that's the one that you pick. both times. You guys already know my thoughts on this. Okay. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I don't know about that one, but that one, maybe yes. And The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. That one's my favorite one. My favorite one of the Chronicles of Narnia. Maybe yes. Maybe yes. I would say yes to that one. I also think just fantasy in the winter, though, just hits better, but I don't know. Okay. Then we have this last one. We have more books that I've never heard of. Okay, so this one, it just says an autumn reading list. I don't know how cozy those other ones were. I mean, some of them, yes. Okay, The Great Upending by Beth Caphart. Never heard of this. The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. Never heard of it. Oh, actually, I might have heard of it. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know. Other than, like, what the title suggests, I don't know specifically what it's about. An Autumn Crush by Millie Johnson. That one sounds cute. October Kiss by Kristen Etheridge. These are more cozy. Okay, The Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Yes, that one, you could pretty much read that one any time of the year. It does start in Christmas time, though. So, I mean, yeah. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I also have this, and I was definitely thinking, like, yes, this could be a fun fall read. And so maybe I will reread it. We'll see. We might just leave it to, like, as many books as I haven't read on this. But yeah, I definitely agree with that one as, like, a fall read. Anne of Green Gables again. September by Rosamund Pilcher. That sounds fun. Bookshop on the Store by Jen Colgan. Recipes for a Perfect Wife by Karma Brown. The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I don't know these ones. November 9 by Colin Hoover. Definitely, but read it on November 9. I need September books. Golden Girl by Aline Hildebrand. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Magic Hour, again by Kirsten Hanna. Oh, Kristen and Kirsten. I think there's a typo, but I don't know which one is incorrect. A Year Without Autumn by Liz Kessler. That sounds awful. Emma by Jane Austen. And A Poem for Every Autumn Day. That one sounds fun, but I don't know if that's a book or just like a thing. Okay, so we have lots of Jane Austen. So I feel like I should just be reading Jane Austen. I don't know. So I'm definitely going to be reading lots of Jane Austen and then also A Good Girl's Guide to Murder this fall. Let me know what you guys are reading this fall, if you've heard of any of these other books, if you would recommend me read any of these other books, recommend I read. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on those books, and I will see you guys in the next ones. Thank you for staying with me. Sorry, I forgot to mention who the other peoples were who collected the list. So we have, well, it says Lady Cranes again. I don't know if this is the same person. And then Cozy Fall, the baking expert, but I think it's supposed to be like expert on Pinterest. So, yeah. If you want to check out those reading lists, definitely, yeah. Alrighty. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.